Awesome. All right, we're going to do some super quick intros here. Please allow me to introduce Forrest. He's the head of brand and marketing for Groucho's Deli restaurants. He brings 10 years of food service experience, extensive project management training, a healthy disdain of meta to his role. He has made that very apparent to us. When he's not making grab my pickle or professional salad tosser puns, he's taking lots of photos and videos of hot meals all spread out. Welcome. All right, let's also welcome Jeff Lynn, the Director of Media and Growth at Sweetgreen. Sweetgreen started from 3 Georgetown students who were simply looking for a healthier way to eat near campus, and 16 years later, they've opened over 200 stores nationwide, all corporately owned. Sweetgreen's mission is to build healthier communities by connecting people to real food. Jeff leads a team that oversees all media and partnerships and growth strategies for Sweetgreen. Hi, Jeff. Oh, how are you? All right, let's please pave the way for Casey Hilder. He's the current director of marketing for Starbird Chicken, a 12-unit chain based in San Francisco. Casey has helped grow the concept for the past 5 years with 4 straight years of 20% plus growth comps. That's awesome. Casey brings experience working formerly with Thunderdome Restaurant Group as a marketing manager. And when I first read that in your bio, all I could imagine was like Mad Max. Yeah. I was like, I want to go to the restaurant that has that happen. So. Exactly. But you also a Mad Max fan? Okay, some of us are old enough. All right, last and certainly not least, and I have no idea why people say that, and I just did it. We have, I'm reading yours. Oh, Casey from, I cut off part of your bio, I apologize. That's all right. Casey from TikTok. She is a team lead across dining at TikTok, where she helps the team brainstorm, identify, implement advertising solutions to deliver measurable results for dining QSR clients. On Casey's FYP, you can find primary content around dogs, Excel tips and tricks, menu hacks, and all things Bravo. Who knows what FYP is? For You page on TikTok. Okay, awesome. I get lots of restaurant stuff, probably not much surprise, and I'll probably get more after today because it's always listening. Okay, hi, if you don't know me by now, I've been on the stage now for 2 days. My name's Rev Ciancio. If you're wondering what I do, as I just explained to a couple people, I own a hamburger joint in New York City called Handcraft Burgers and Brew. We are the enterprise of single units. We have every tech that you've seen on stage in the last 2 days. We're highly tech enabled. During the day, though, I'm a hospitality marketing consultant who helps restaurant with CMO stuff. So I help you figure out how to put together marketing programs, select tech vendors, and figure out stuff like we've talked about for the last 2 days. Thankfully, though, I also get to ask people like this questions, and that's how I learn, and that's how we're all going to learn today. Last thing, if you ask my mom what I do, she would probably tell you I put pictures of pizza on the internet. She's not wrong. I do that. So, all right, with that, guys, we are here to answer all of your social media marketing questions. What we're going to do is the way we're going to run this. Where's Sam? You let me know when we're at the halfway point, because I'm going to cut off my questions, and I want you guys to ask questions. I know that when I go to the social media panel at these things, my questions never get answered, so we want to make sure that your questions get answered. Does that sound good? That doesn't sound good? Does that sound good? Thank you. All right. Somebody's paying attention. All right, let's start off with this, and anybody who wants to answer. We're not going to go through and everybody has to answer. If you feel like you don't have something to add, don't. That is the you choose when to talk policy, all right? All right, let's start with this one. What are some of the ways you are currently leveraging social media to better connect with your guests?
Start it off. Something we've learned from Dave's Hot Chicken, actually they've done this tremendously for years, is use our pages as an extension of our menu. So when TikTok especially, when someone comes to our TikTok page, we want them to know exactly what we're serving. So we focused the past 5 years just making our items exactly how they're made in store. And it's worked pretty well for us. You're going to see exactly what ingredients we're using, how it's going to be delivered, how it looks, and we learned over 50% of millennials are using TikTok to find restaurants. And that's our target market, and it's been pretty successful for us so far.
So is it like a how it's made video? Like a
how it's made video,
whatever?
Exactly, yeah. So our whole page is just food being made, and we replicate items over and over again. It's worked pretty well.
Yeah, I was at a conference several years ago when I was the CMO of a tech brand, and I took a bunch of our team members to a show. And we went out to eat, and the server came around and brought us all menus, and I did what you would normally do, is I picked up the menu and was like, well, that sounds good. They all went to their phones, and I was like, aren't you going to look in the menus? They're like, we're on Instagram. Yeah. I was like, that's how you order? And my mind was blown. So.
It's the new Yelp.
It is the new Yelp.
Yeah.
Forrest, you have anything to throw in there? How you guys are currently leveraging social media to better connect with your guests?
So something we have coming is actually, it's already been implemented and it's starting this month. We partnered with Gift a Meal to it solves 3 problems for us. Philanthropy, because customers, especially Gen Z millennials, they want to see, cause-driven, cause-related, like how does this matter, especially Gen Z. It gives me location-specific content because that river doesn't always run my way. It's very hard to source that customer content. And then third, it does personalize the experience where, the Blythewood store is seeing Blythewood content only, and it's always, location specific.
Jeff, you got anything you want to throw in there? You don't have to.
I think the easy answer is right, like building brand awareness and acquiring new customers, right? I think that's the simplest way to think about it. But I think really about social media is really about like the engagement you have with your customer, making them feel a certain way. You want them to care about your brand and the products you're selling, as opposed to just like, here's a promotion, here's a menu item, et cetera. So I think what the things that we're really thinking about and when we're leveraging marketing campaigns is the one thing that you really get is like instant feedback from your campaigns, right? So if you like, I know a lot of brands disable their comments when they have campaigns. Like, don't do that, because even if you get really bad comments, like you understand what you're doing wrong and like what your brand perception is. So it's like that two-way street that you have with your customer and really understanding that, and really leaning in and like, if it's really bad, like it's okay. Like brands had the authenticity to really say like, this is something that's really good for us, or this is really bad. Like if you learn from it, I think it's going to be really impactful. So.
Awesome. Well, here's 3 things that we do at Handcraft Burgers and Brew that I tell my clients to do. Anytime one of your guests posts to Instagram, you should share it to your stories, unless the content is not good, meaning they've said something bad or they were angry. Like that's a great way to say thank you, and it's simple. Just press forward to your stories. Number 1. Number 2, if somebody shares content, you should also thank them privately in a DM and on the post. Okay, that way you said thank you 3 times, right? You should always do that. And the other thing you should do is you should answer every DM, and you're like, Rev, we are way too busy, we're way too big of a brand. I will tell you this, every single time I have ever sent a DM to White Castle, and I don't know how many stores they have, how big that organization is, they have answered every single DM I have ever sent them since the day I opened up Instagram. So if they can do it, you can do it. Casey, from your perspective, do you see ways that restaurants are using TikTok, especially to engage with guests?
Definitely. Similar to what Jeff was mentioning, just around how your customer is showing up on TikTok. I think you can learn a lot from your customer, how they're engaging with your items, what they like, what they don't like. And I think it's a great platform to be able to just hear from them and really adjust your strategy based off of what they're saying, because it's such a powerful source for them to share their opinions. And sometimes we think one thing and our customers are thinking something completely different.
Awesome. All right, so Josh kind of brought this up yesterday. Not every social media platform is the same. Not every social media platform has the same audience. And as we grow and learn and change, different platforms take on different meanings over time. So I want to ask you guys, how do newer players in the social media space differ from what we might call a legacy platform? And how has your strategy evolved to adopt?
I can jump in here. So from a TikTok perspective, we consider ourselves more of an entertainment platform versus a social platform. So I think a lot of times you see us sitting with Meta and those other competitors, and really we are based on a content graph versus a social graph. So it's about the content that's being posted. So engaging and producing content is just a little bit different than other platforms. So just making sure that you're super authentic. Lo-fi production is really where we see a lot of success, and just making sure that you're producing content that feels native and natural to TikTok. That's where you see the most success for brands on the platform.
I'm going to do a quick translation of that. TikTok does not see themselves as a social media platform. They see them as a competitor to Netflix.
Correct.
So think about it this way. When you're creating content, you should be creating Netflix content, not Instagram content on TikTok. Anybody else want to? Of course, I know you had some pretty strong opinions about different
Well, and like Derek mentioned in the last panel, we have 80 years worth of guests. So I have demographics across every platform, and I as a party of one, I kind of struggle to, loop them all in and keep them all on that page, because I do want to, that triple thank you. So what I focus on is multi-purpose content. I focus on, if I make a TikTok video and work really hard on that and creating good quality there, that goes to Facebook and Instagram. But that equation doesn't work the other way around. It just doesn't. So making sure that everything I do is multi-purpose and wide-reaching, and then making it very specific. Like I did an Instagram post a couple weeks ago with some of our old photos, like from historical, and it made a little pop-up video emblem on each one with wild, crazy facts. And I've never seen engagement like that. So it's just presenting old news and education in like the most entertaining way.
Yeah, we like to just try new stuff. Whatever's out there, we'll throw a dart at the board and see if it sticks. Anybody here on Be Real? It's a younger one.
I tried it.
Yeah, so Be Real is a new platform, and it's not really meant for restaurants, but we tried to get on Be Real at Starbird. We had someone in the kitchen taking selfies every day, and we got like 2 views a day, and so it just didn't work out. But we tried it, and we know it's not for us for now. Maybe in a year it'll be. YouTube Shorts we're tapping into right now, and utilizing TikTok content for YouTube Shorts is growing very fast. But just trying what's new and seeing what sticks for us.
You bring up a good point too. Like as time goes on, you always have to constantly evaluate the purpose of these platforms in your restaurants. Do you need a Twitter? Because God, I don't know. I certainly don't know. But yeah, see,
If you're like the Big Ten, like yes, they should have it.
yeah. But always be assessing. Just make sure that it's necessary for your brand.
All right, for our restaurant panelists, and Casey, actually, you should chime in here too. Give me one tip or trick that you've done, used, or tried that gets more engagement.
Sauce. People
Just-
love sauce. That's what we've learned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, house-made dressings, anything that's indulgent, you can drizzle on top. I think all that fancy, cool-looking stuff is, Sweetgreen probably can do a great job with all their dressings, but people love that. We see awesome engagement with that.
Yeah, I'll say sauce for sure. For us, like how do you make so-and-so sauce, like spicy cashew is probably the most popular, things like that. But also, actually, the most interesting thing is most engaged content is actually food-adjacent content, not actually food content. So also, like if you're working with influencers and creators, like pick the creators that truly love your brand, as opposed to like you're paying them money to produce something. Like it really comes out when they really understand. It's kind of like if you know type of thing. And like just doing that due diligence of like, is this just like a reason for you to get money, or is this because you really want to be an ambassador, right? And so I think those two things are pretty important.
The restaurant adjacent thing you mentioned, our most popular TikTok is only restaurateurs and people and staff in restaurants would get it. It was based on this Dumb Ways to Die song trend. And I took a video of a staff member turning on the tea urn, but the nozzle was off. Okay? And it ended with Dumb Ways to Die. And it was our most engagement, and everybody that commented, like it was literally an if you know, you know. So keeping it in-house too, making it relatable for future employees, making a culture out of it that you kind of see the human side of both guests and employees.
Our most popular TikTok was pouring cheese on a hot dog. So
There you go.
I would say for us, this is one you have to decide whether you want to piss off your operations team or not. I told my culinary director that I wanted to do a secret menu, like I wanted to have the In-N-Out style thing. And I wouldn't create it based on things we didn't have in the kitchen. He was like, no way, we're not doing this. I don't want that to happen to my restaurant, blah, blah. So now I just do menu hack videos. So like I will go and hack our menu, and then I'll put it on our social media. Warning, menu hack. And we literally tell people how to hack, and people go bananas for it. And very few people order them, but the content crushes. So
I would say within the dining QSR space, menu hack content is around 4% of the content that's being produced. And a great case study of that is Chipotle. The Chipotle quesadilla was not a menu item, and they rolled that out as a menu item because of the demand and popularity of that item itself. So you're leaning into the trends, and we love that.
who knew that a dude that's almost bald and 49 could figure out the menu hack?
There you go.
God bless. Okay, I definitely want to leave a bunch of room here for Q&A. I want to do a little bit of a deep dive on TikTok for a quick minute because I have those questions, so I'm going to assume you have those questions. Casey, I'm guessing not a lot of brands are doing paid on TikTok yet, and I'm sure most brands, who's here is doing paid on Meta, Instagram and Facebook ads? If you're in brand and you're not doing that, I want to talk to you later because I want to know what you are doing. I'm guessing not a lot of brands have really started to utilize that yet. And I don't want to turn this into a pitch, and I know you're not going to do that. But when is the right time for a brand to run ads on TikTok? And what should the content playbook be for an ad?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. Question we get actually a lot is, with our advertising platform, we have so many different objectives that you can run where you're at. So say you're really focused on growing your follower base, you can run a campaign that's optimized to grow your followers. I think the thing that's also really nice about our platform on TikTok is you can take the creative that you're already running on your organic profile and boost that as part of your paid strategy. So you don't necessarily have to, create this whole media plan and have this huge launch when you think about advertising on the platform. You can actually leverage the content that you're seeing your audience really relate to and boost that and grow that with your targeted audience that you're sort of looking to find. In terms of timing, I think, right now, again, not to be pitchy, but, we have a pretty efficient CPM when we compare to other platforms. So, reaching that audience as we continue to see more users coming onto the platform, and then just leveraging the different objectives that work best for you guys. We have so many different options that you can go. And obviously, we are here to help you guys. TikTok wants to see you succeed, and we're just excited about the growth within the dining and QSR space.
So if we're looking at, we're talking about boosting a post, is it, hey, this post is doing really well, I should boost that one, or hey, this is an LTO I have, I really want to promote that? Like, how do we decide what is the right content to do it, or does that not matter?
You can do both. I think it's really based off of your goals. So if you have a really exciting LTO that you want to, really capture a lot of attention and drive attention to that specific offer, boost that post. But if you just want to have brand awareness within a specific subset that you're trying to target, use the content that's performing really well and just understand, again, as I was saying earlier, listen to your audience. If you listen to your audience, that's when you're going to see your advertising perform well. That's when you're going to see your organic content perform well.
Awesome, and if you really want to piss off the culinary team, boost your content on menu hacks.
Exactly.
All right, I want to give Casey a quick minute here. Can you just give us like some top-level tips, tricks, tactics, optimization for TikTok? Like, what should we be doing?
Yeah, definitely. So again, boosting content, highly recommend just making sure that your organic content can translate to paid as well. Working with micro-influencers, I think that's something that some people think that they have to go out and work with an influencer who has 1 million+ followers. As Jeff was saying, it's finding that person who's an advocate for your brand, doesn't necessarily have to have a ton of followers. They're going to find that audience that's excited about your brand as well. In terms of tips and tricks, try. I think that's something that people feel like they have to have it exactly right before they get on the platform. Try things out, learn from it, adjust, and sort of hear what your audience is saying.
All right, does like the length of a video matter?
It depends.
Okay,
I know.
How about hashtags, time of day, all that other things that we obsess about?
Hashtags are definitely a helpful tool. I think, again, for discovery, it's a really great way for your users to engage in content that's related to a specific hashtag, especially if you're doing maybe a new flavor launch or something like that, where you can get people excited to review it around that specific hashtag. You can see the quantity of views when it's related to the hashtag itself. So I highly recommend playing around, trying that out. We do have a creative center where you can see hashtag trends over time, so you can see things that fit within the dining QSR space and sort of append those hashtags as well. Time of day, honestly, we don't tend to see there's a specific subset of time that you need to post at. We see our users are using the platform for, on average, 90+ minutes per day, so really leaned in, engaged, hence why we were talking about it's more similar to Netflix, just because they are consuming the content full screen, sound on. So just again, it's making sure that the content is engaging and you'll be successful.
All right, captions, need to have, nice to have, doesn't matter.
Nice to have.
Okay, God bless. All right, I'm playing. All right, I'm going to turn it over to you guys. Who has questions? Any social media questions at all? And if you don't, I will continue to ask questions. So if you want me to control the narrative, don't ask questions. Over here.
How do you determine your benchmark for engagement? So how do you even know if your post is performing as well as it should be, better than it should be, or worse than it should be?
I can take it if you want. Again, it goes back to sort of what you're trying to do with that post. So if your goal is likes, engagement, I always say benchmark against yourself. So even if you're just starting out, it's always great to have your brand as that benchmark, because we know that certain other brands can have videos go viral and it's sort of a little bit out of the blue, so it's hard to benchmark against another competitor within that space. So benchmarking against yourself is really going to give you that true North Star as to what's working, what's not. And I would say that goes across the board. If it's views, engagements or followers even, just to sort of see what metrics are being driven from those posts.
And you already measure that in-house, like YOY, MOM, like do the same with social. Like just always look for growth and improvement. It's because you can throw spaghetti, like Meta does it too. I mean, you throw spaghetti at Meta, you have no control over that. So it's, just always compare yourself to yourself.
So I'll say two things. If it's content that you absolutely 100% need people to see, it should be an ad, not a post, right? Number one. Number two, when I'm looking at how do I measure social media, I generally don't look at the metrics that everybody else looks at. I would rather measure calls to action, like links to bio clicks, or like did I see a movement, like, or did I just entertain you? So if we put out a call to action that was like, hey, sign up for our SMS, click the link in bio, I want to know how many people clicked the link in bio from that post. That to me is way more important than like, did somebody like this? Liking is like, waving as you walk down the street. It's nice, but doesn't really help me.
Yeah, I think too, TikTok kind of changed the game on this. When Instagram came out, it was all about followers, right? How many followers does your brand have? And now TikTok is about views and engagement. But I think if we get a video with 20,000 views and our follower count goes up by 5 people, that's a success to us because we're getting eyeballs on the content.
Yeah, I think one thing that's very specific to TikTok too is it's, like, to your point, Casey, like followers don't matter. We've worked with 2 influencers that were both at about like 1 million followers, and we're expecting very similar views and engagement across both of the 2 separate campaigns that we're running. One was done really well, really loved the brand, performed extremely well, and the other one, you could just tell that probably not as big of a fan, and it was such a big comparison and a realization that when you're advertising on TikTok, it really should be, you have to think of it in the mindset of everything is around your For You page. So you have to design your videos to be highly engaged and interesting for the For You page. No one looks at their followers page, and you're not going to get the views that way. So it's diametrically different from how you're going to do how you would have their strategy from like Meta or Instagram or Snapchat.
Cool. Next question.
Question around best practices for downloading sounds of music produced on TikTok with around royalty rights. I always feel like really dirty when I use some music that I know is tied to an artist, and I get everything is trending. So can you talk about that for a minute?
Of course. So our best practice is to use the music that's within our commercial music library. Again, as I was mentioning about our creative center, we have a really great tool to see the trending songs, and you can actually filter it so it is the trending songs that are approved within our commercial music library. Again, that's just sort of our best practice. I also, when it comes to sounds, I think what's been great, I've been at TikTok 2 years, the evolution of what sound looks like 2 years ago versus today. It isn't necessarily so focused around music. It's around different audio sounds and things like that, and actually even talking over the videos themselves. So play around with that as well. Don't feel like you're tied to making sure that your videos have, a top 50 hit on the video itself. And then if you are looking to use music, again, just best practice is to use those that are approved within our commercial music library so you don't have any of that icky feeling when you're using those sounds.
We take a different strategy. In case if this is illegal on TikTok, let me know.
Same, yeah. Sorry.
We're actually old school iTunes purchasing individual songs. So each video costs us $1.29 or whatever it is. And then playing those videos on our videos and doing the top, Taylor Swift, Katy Perry, whatever the folks are listening to. But that's kind of what our approach is. Am I in the clear?
You're good.
All right.
Using that in a commercial way, I don't think you're violating copyright law.
All right. Good to know. Well, yeah, we have a TikTok rep that we ran it by, so we'll have to triple check that.
It gets sensitive when it comes to actually promoting the videos. That's where more of that comes into play versus living organically.
Yeah, I'll tell you, we only play old school hip hop in the restaurant, and that was not by design. That just happened, and we just went with it. Our highest performing TikTok at the restaurant ever had a heavy metal song, so who knows? Next question.
With multiple locations, some users can't find certain locations, so they'll tag a different location. Is there any way to get all the locations listed on the TikTok?
So
Geotags.
Yeah,
because my
geotags.
restaurant is not on TikTok. I have to actually geotag my address or our neighborhood.
Okay.
It sucks.
So you can put in an actual address?
Yeah, so I can't put in Handcraft Burgers and Brew. I have to put in 110 West 40th.
Gotcha.
That's what you're asking about, right?
Yeah, most users, when they're trying to tag a location, they'll do a search for the restaurant name, and they can't find it, that location, so they'll tag a different location.
We run into that too. Like we use Marquee for listings management, and it's integrated with TikTok. So we know that our locations are being pushed to TikTok. They have the name, the address, all that. But there are times when I make a video and try to tag the location specifically, and it doesn't show up. And then, like a Rev does, I do the address or just the city specifically. But you know, listings management does help with that.
Yeah, because most users just searching for the name. If they can't find the name, they'll just tag the closest location.
Or the top. Do you have like a top tier account too? Yeah.
Is there any way to get a feed on all of the locations?
I was gonna say, that's a great question, something I can bring back to our product team. That's actually the first time I've heard of it, so great feedback. And again, I will always say TikTok is still a new platform. Like, we're still building out products and suites to be comparative to our competitors, so feedback like that is so helpful so that we can, make the product to fit your guys' needs, so to speak.
You bring up a good point though about locations. I do a meet the store video, and people clocked me in the comments. They were like, "There's no food in these videos. It's all store." So the people will tell you what they need to see too. It's interesting. But yeah, make each store a video. That's given content right there.
All right, next question. In the back here.
Editing video seems to be a real challenge for us, getting the content. And then I see advertisements for companies and different influencers that try to sell you. And it's like you never know who to trust. Does TikTok have a resource or a platform where we can find the people who we can trust to edit videos?
Call me. Sorry, what were we gonna say?
I was going to say, so for yeah, first off, call Rev. We have an extensive creative center with tons of tools. I will also say CapCut, if you guys haven't played around with CapCut at all yet, that's a really helpful tool, and it is part of sort of the TikTok ecosystem of apps, so highly recommend using that. But the creative center is a really great place to go to understand just like edits that you can make, tools that we have available, and different partners that we do work with as well.
One more question. We post some videos sometimes and they'll get like 400 views. And lately we've been deleting them and then reposting and they'll get like 130,000. So is there a tip or a trick to the algorithm why a video would get like 400 over like 24 hours and then we repost the same exact video a day later and it gets like crazy amount?
Do you make any changes to it? Any caption changes or anything?
Keep doing that.
Yeah.
We're all now gonna try that.
Thank you for the advice.
No joke.
All right, next question. Room full of restaurants and marketing people. You have access to people that do this all day. You have no...
I'll ask the panel a question because
Yeah,
I'm about
go
to
for
dive
it.
into this. What should you expect to pay with influencer marketing? Is it cost per vid, cost per person? What does that look like?
I can answer on behalf of our restaurant because we've had, since we opened almost 2 years ago, I think we've had 80 different influencers come through. We've not paid a single one. We always ask first, and if they say, I want to get paid, then we decide if we want to pay them or not. We haven't yet, so.
And most of your influencers end up being loyal brand lovers, right? Like,
There's actually, I'll give you a little bit, I'm going to divert the question or the answer a little bit. This is my influencer marketing policy, or this is how I would play the game. So regardless of the size of your brand, you're going to work with a set of influencers. Could be 10, 20, 100, 1,000, whatever, okay? Through that process, you're going to find 8 to 10 who just love it, who just, like me, I'm obsessed with White Castle. I'm waiting for them to call me, okay, for years. And they've sent me gravy boats, but that's a whole other story. Anyway, my point being, you're going to come across like 8 to 10 influencers that like make great content, are nice people, and like totally get the brand. Treat them like they're part of your company, right? Create like a VIP influencer team and involve them on everything. Hey, we released new merch. Hey, there's an LTO. Do you want to try it? Like, give them hyper level VIP status and invite them to everything you do. And don't expect that they're going to promote everything, but treat them like your greatest guest.
Yeah, we do something very similar. We call it a brand ambassador program. And every 6 months, we bring on 10 or so different influencers, and we give them X amount of meals per week. And on top of that, we do events, we do happy hours. We treat them like they're an employee of the company almost. And they're people, as Jeff mentioned, that truly love the brand. And they're fired up. They feel exclusive, and they are excited to be a part of Starbird.
Yeah, I had a 2-location coffee joint in New York City give me $200 to post coffee, which is really not that much money. And now I go to that coffee place twice a week, and every time I go, I post because I freaking love the coffee. So they won on that one. But
Yeah.
all right, we're gonna.
Sorry, I got a follow-up question on that. Just a slightly naive question. What's a good place to start looking for influencers? On your social, on the broader platform? How does one go about it? Have you been thinking about it, and I just wasn't sure what the entry point was.
I mean, if you're on the platform, you should know who tags you, generally speaking. Finding influencers is a full-time job. You need teams to really do it. So if you don't have the manpower to do it in-house, or you don't truly have someone on your team that is like lives and breathes, let's say TikTok or on Instagram, et cetera, there are a ton of agencies that you can work, and actually DTCX is something like a program that we use that will help you go through. They have a marketplace that you can go and source. The quality of influencers and content creators is a question mark. So it's, I think influencers as a whole is really how much do you want to invest in and how much do you want to put into it, because it really requires know-how and just resourcing that just is very high, and so I would say like really be on the platform if you're really trying to find the right ones to work with.
I would say you also check your regional competitors and see who they're working with. Not to pluck away from your competitors, but typically influencers are working with all the brands in their area, and you can probably find some good ones on that in there.